Spent time properly? That's it. I've actually never really hosted a show before. Actually, a little bit nervous. I guess we're good. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Ambrose Asylum. And here tonight, for my special first guest, it is... Well, I mean, I could say it's ESPN basketball hoop, but I could also, consider it my popcorn and extra stuff on the side. But, oh, show's over. Very easy to finish. All right, guys, what's going on? This is a Club of the Man 1993, and I'm taking this tie off right now. It's old zipper tie I used to wear in high school. That's wear uniforms, and a hat, what the heck. So, guys, what's going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 late night stream. I know. Sorry, I'm a little late. I was working on my card predictions for Hell in a Cell. Unfortunately, I have to re-export it after this video because I made an error. Oops! Don't tell anybody. So right now, just keep you guys waiting longer. I know you guys have probably been waiting for most of the end of this week to get the stream. I had a little bit of a crazy end of the week, and I had a couple last-minute plans. But I'm here right now, getting ready to do my special live stream, which, this one's going to go. This one's going to be a little lame, I feel. Not one of my best ones, but be a little goofy. Just like the guy we're going to be talking about tonight, Dean Ambrose. So, as y'all know, last Monday, not past Monday, Monday before, the go-home show episode of Raw before SummerSlam, Dean Ambrose made his long-way return after being out for about 8 or 9 months with a triceps tear. Came back, had a whole new look. Hair was cut short, had a beard going also. So it looked like they were going in the heel direction with him. Unfortunately, it's not the case quite yet, as Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns reunited the Shield on Monday. Not sure where it's going. Which I had a prediction for the Universal Championship, even though I'm not completely for it. You'll see that when I upload my Hell in a Cell predicted match card, so don't say you're ridiculous. But nope, it's just based off what happened last week is where I can possibly see this going. But that's for, when you see my Hell in a Cell card predictions, which we uploaded after this video is done. So anyway, so tonight, I thought, let's think Dean Ambrose here. Let's talk about Dean Ambrose this week or something like that. And I thought, I wasn't sure how to tell this. So I was going to go with top 10 Dean Ambrose funny moments, like my funniest Dean Ambrose moments. However, though, I'm pretty sure there's some people who don't think Dean Ambrose is funny, at sometimes. And I don't want to look like a complete fool or like I'm just laughing at toilet humor or something like that with this video. Most of the ones in this list, I think, are they're trying to bring out a comedy side. I thought they're kind of goofy and whatnot. And there's some like my best. So I decided to call this the top 10 Dean Ambrose non-wrestling moments, because one of the moments in this list is really meant to come across as funny, but I think it would fit the character of Dean Ambrose. Because let me put it this way, Dean Ambrose, I kind of see it. The newer version of Dean Ambrose, I see more of being on like a serious side, like with the haircut and whatnot. I see him going crazy, but I don't see him being as corny as he was when he had his longer hair and whatnot before he got injured. Dean Ambrose is the type of guy if you like me, he'll do something like out of the ordinary. Well, not really out of the ordinary, but something really like odd, and just walk around like what. It's no big deal. So there's coming down the ramp in the middle of a Brock Lesnar segment, to just, start throwing random, weapons in his wagon, just walking away. I remember one time when he was getting ready to face Kevin Owens at TLC 2015 for the Intercontinental Championship. He literally just walked out, got his random shooting on popcorn. Or the night after Ellsworth cost him the WWE Championship, he literally just walked out there, all calm, walking there, him with dirty deeds, walked out. Another one honorable mention also is when Ambrose was drafted over to Raw, and the Miz and Maurice are out there imitating John Cena and Nikki Bella. And at first, he's like, "Oh yeah, John, Nikki, congratulations on your marriage." Sorry, did not go through, unfortunately. And then it's like, we're not Cena and Nikki, it's Miz and Maurice, blah blah blah. And he's like, "Oh, well, in that case, then." And then just hits some 30 days and walks out. So moments like that, it's like he just like walks around. Or what I also used to know about Dean Ambrose, like whenever you see about to start brawls with somebody, like he would be like setting stuff up to the side, and like him and the Miz, like on Miz TV. How many times did it happen where Miz used to keep ranting, and Ambrose is like moves out of the way. It's like, all right, we're gonna start beating the crap out of each other here or whatnot. Moments like that. So not quite those exact moments, but that's why I narrowed it down to 10 moments like where Dean Ambrose did something like kind of goofy and out of the ordinary that like only would work for him. That's a weird noise outside. I felt. So that's what the top 10 Dean Ambrose non-wrestling moments we're talking about. So let's see what we got in the live chat, and let's see what we got here. And unfortunately, I had to refresh the page right here because the live chat is being stupid. We've got, so far, we've got Robbie saying, "Oh, Wendy!" No, I'm sorry. Let me try this again. Oh, Wendy! Yes, I still love that. Love that segment. That's hilarious, Robbie. What's up, Robbie? By the way, Robbie, congrats also on getting to meet Becky Lynch today. I saw your Instagram and Twitter posts. Yes, Larry, what's up? Popcorn. Dean Ambrose jumps over a bush and chases some guy for taking Renee's hat in a restaurant on Total Divas. Did he really do that, Killer Games? I did not see it. That probably would be, crazy though. And as Lauren would say, choo choo, probably heard the train. You gotta get one more O in there on those choo choos. It's like you're saying Cho. I think of Cho Chang from Harry Potter. And I better fix that basketball hoop. It's not sticking up. All right. But yes, so thank you guys. So far we got a good audience with Robbie, Killer Games, and Larry as well. So let's get started. Let's talk about some of my favorite Dean Ambrose non-wrestling moments. And I'll definitely have to look it up, Killer Games, since let me know. So let's get started here. My number 10 is from an episode of SmackDown Live. It was actually the last SmackDown Live of 2016. That was a really fun show, I remember. It was a week after. It was a week before Ambrose won the IC title off of The Miz. And, the feud between Miz and Ambrose got a little personal when Miz, started verbally attacking Renee Young and exposing, her and Dean's relationship pretty much on live TV, pretty much. So backstage, the Miz, of course, had all of his security, and he's about to be interviewed. So Dean Ambrose is just standing there, he's just like nothing else going on. It's like, just typical him, dressed up as a security guard. And he starts to brawl with, the security guards and the Miz himself. Once he takes the ball down, though, they keep you all angry and all fired up because you just beat the crap out of, 5 guys. So Dean Ambrose, though, he just grabs one of the walkie-talkies, looks calm and collected like nothing else happened. He just goes, all clear. Just, pretty much just like, pretty much clearing out the area and saying all clear. But, it's just him just, getting his revenge on The Miz for what he had said to Renee Young, of course. And, of course, he's coming for his IC title the following week because he won it on the first SmackDown of 2017. Unfortunately, it was kind of a forgettable run for Ambrose, that IC title run. It wasn't anything too special. I still think if he didn't get moved over to Raw, he probably would have dropped it to Baron Corbin. But, and it's still one of my favorites. That's why I put number 10. The All Clear segment from December 27th, 2016. That's my number 10. Number 9. This is another corny one. From the September 18th, 2017 edition of Raw. I think it was the go home show before No Mercy, I believe it was. Yeah, that's right, because No Mercy was 2 days after my birthday. So we have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins as the Raw Tag Team Champions. They're getting ready to take on the Bar for the Bar's rematch at No Mercy. So they have them in the ring, and then out comes Gallows and Anderson, pretty much saying how they're a stronger unit and whatnot. Nostalgia doesn't get to them and whatnot. They're going back and forth, and then the club come out at this point. The club are just trying to tread water, pretty much coming out here saying how what makes them better, good brothers than Sheamus and Cesaro and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. So then they get into the ring. And then, now here's the thing also. When Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins started pairing back up again, it seemed like, Seth Rollins became a little more sarcastic. And a segment like this, he treated he's the one watching out for Ambrose. And then whenever you set Ambrose off, it's like, uh-oh, you just crossed the line. No, that this is bad, whatnot. Which kind of made it a little bit funnier, I felt. So, Gallows and Anderson goes on calling them just a couple of, what's it called now? Nerds! And Ron was like, oh no, stop. No, you shouldn't have said that. Oh, crap. This isn't good. Oh, no. And everybody's like, what the heck be going on? And then Dean Ambrose has a look on his face like, you talking to me, punk? What? Pretty much. He walks up, gets right in the face of Gallows. And again, this was dull, like it was weird, but again, it was only funny because Dean Ambrose would pull this off, because he would go crazy over something like this. He was also like dead in Gallows' eyes, this nasty look on his face, and all he says is, "Nobody calls me a nerd," and he just started beating the crap out of Gallows. It was weird. So then Gallows, he started brawling with Gallows, but I think Anderson started going after Cesaro and Rollins went after Sheamus. So it was like, why did the brawling go that way? But it's just the moment with Ambrose again, like that wouldn't work for anyone else but Dean Ambrose. It was like setting him off, because bringing out the craziness of this character. What could set Dean Ambrose off really by calling him? Who else could we sell by being called a nerd? And then this Ambrose like all grumpy and looking at him, and Rollins like, oh no, you shouldn't have said that. Oh no, this isn't good. And then he goes, "Nobody calls me a nerd," and he starts beating the crap out of him. So that's my number 9 on this list, is "Nobody calls me a nerd." Let's see what we got in the live chat so far. Dean bringing the hot dog cart out to ringside. Oh yeah, it was I think it was the hold on. Anyways, but shoot, for us to say, oh yeah, but the hot dog cart, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it again, only the X support, because that episode, that was whenever at first they were going to have a match at Hell in a Cell with Cena and Ambrose, and the winner was going to get to face Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. Of course, on the flip side, the loser got to face Randy Orton for a title opportunity inside Hell in a Cell. That was a little strange. But it was Seth Rollins, so it was starting to brew up the tension between Orton and Rollins. But anyways, yeah, so I remember, I think it was supposed to be Cena and Ambrose taking on Rollins, Kane, and Orton in a 3-on-2 handicap match. And then, of course, Cena and Ambrose weren't getting along at the beginning. And Ambrose was like, I'm kind of thirsty. I think I want to just get on a subway and jet down to Coney Island, grab something to eat and like something to drink. I'll see you later. Have fun. At least Cena to take on 3-on-1. He returns later with the hot dog cart, and like as Kane and Orton are literally coming down to attack Ambrose. Ambrose like pulls out like the ketchup and mustard bottles, like he's like a sheriff or something about to shoot off his guns or whatnot. And yeah, again, food fights are a little, not really the most entertaining thing. But again, with Dean Ambrose, it's meant for him pretty much. But that's a good one. Killer Games. Let's see here. Mike, I want that Mike. Yeah, well, it's kind of an old thing I found in my closet. I don't know where I got it years ago. Let's see here. Robbie says one of Dean's best moments was when he announced James Ellsworth as the man with more victories over AJ Styles than John Cena. Burn. That's definitely a good one as well, Robbie. Larry also says, by the way, it's not about her, but if I had to listen to Jericho, he would be forced to put the Becky Lynch heel turn on it. So far, yeah, because they're literally trying to force us to hate her, but it's not going to work. Stuff that Becky said in that promo was not true. It was delivered good, but we know it's not true, Becky. We were always behind you, but we'll talk about you at Becky Lynch. She was involved in one of these segments I have later on. But that was number 9. Number 8. This segment just made me think of like a story from my childhood, kind of whatnot. So this segment, it was on the June 27th, 2016 episode of Raw. And Dean Ambrose had just won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship after he cashed in at Money in the Bank. So, of course, it was weird because it was right before the draft, and Stephanie McMahon was favoring Seth Rollins, even though, remember this, guys, the Raw that Rollins came back, that's the right time when Stephanie McMahon was like kind of like back and forth. 1 week she was a face, next week she was a heel. Like 1 week, she was, bashing, what's it called? Oh, like someone like the baby faces, like, Baylor or whatnot, and they're getting no comeuppance on her. Next week, she's bashing Charlotte being a bad champion, throwing her into a submission match with Ric Flair being banned from ringside Extreme Rules. Like, it just didn't make any sense. One week she was on one side, at first she was on a villain's side. It just didn't make any sense. But anyway, so of course Stephanie McMahon was not happy about Dean Ambrose being champion, and that night, AJ Styles and John Cena each made their cases as to why they should be added to the triple threat match at Battleground. So the opportunity was given to them. John Cena is going to be facing Seth Rollins, and AJ Styles is going to be facing Dean Ambrose. And if either one of them win, they get added to the championship match. So then, of course, I think plan A, the first one backfired with John Cena losing to Seth Rollins, saying thanks to distraction from either the club or AJ Styles. Of course, they were all part of it at the time. But then we had Stephanie backstage just laying into Dean Ambrose how this has been embarrassment and whatnot, and she's hoping that this embarrassing title reign will end at Battleground. And I can't remember who exactly was interviewing Ambrose. Can't remember which one it was, but Ambrose just stands there like me. I'd be like, ouch, that hurt. But Ambrose scared me there, Hoop. But Ambrose just sarcastically, just like no sweat at all, just looks over interviewing him and says, deep down she really likes me. You know that, right? Like, no sweat. I know she likes me. She just can't admit it, whatnot. This kind of reminds me when I was younger. I was probably in maybe like 5th grade or something. There was this one girl in my class I did not get along with, and I remember for like 1 week I complained about her like every day. Finally, my dad was like, you know what? Next time she bothers you, Mike, just go back to school and say, you must really like me if you keep talking to me like this, don't you? Sure enough, next day I did that. The girl didn't talk to me for the rest of the year, but I don't know. I just found that corny. Just like, deep down, she really likes me, right? But yeah, one of my funny moment I felt from Dean Ambrose going like, deep down, she really likes me. You know that, right? But yeah, there's that one. But that is my number 8. Deep down, she really likes me. From the Raw of June 27th, 2016. Number 7 is actually the segment that I did a parody of for my review of Raw the night Dean Ambrose returned last week. It was a segment on the November 17th, 2014 edition of Raw. Of course, Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose were feuding at the time. It was right at the beginning of their feud, which, the feud was all right. Didn't really do anything for anybody in the long run, though. But so we had Bray Wyatt in the ring just saying how, Dean Ambrose needs to just embrace them, realize how similar they are, and realize that Bray Wyatt could save him. And then all of a sudden we hear Ambrose go, hey, is this thing on? Hello? Hey, is this thing on? And he's pretty much saying how, he's just getting annoyed by everything that Bray Wyatt's trying to do to him. He's like, I heard you, and I get it. Just shut up. It's like nails on a chalkboard. But he says, but however, I'm really trying to understand you here. I really am, Bonehead. Maybe Bray Wyatt really isn't just a bad man after all. Maybe I can learn something. In fact, I've learned a little spooky magic trick. And he goes on just to mock Bray Wyatt, concept of how he, could appear on a Titantron, and he can just teleport to the ring. So Ambrose is like, here, want to see a magic trick I learned from you, Bonehead? It goes, video recording. I'm not really here right now because I recorded this on my buddy's cell phone earlier today, and I'm out in the arena right now. Bray, run. And the lights come on, and Ambrose jumps out of nowhere and attacks Bray Wyatt. Again, Dean Ambrose like, idiot. It's technology. You can record a video beforehand. I can do this trick as easy as you can and whatnot moment. But yeah, definitely another, moment that stands out to me. That's why it's my number 7 on this list. Is Dean Ambrose tricking Bray Wyatt with the video recording. That's number 7. Number 6, of course. Because in 2014, this was quite popular on social media, and I participated on it thanks to my sister's old roommate. And unfortunately, I nominated 3 people, only one of them did it. Went through with it, which is my one cousin. Thank you, Julia. Anyway, so August 18th, 2014. I believe this was the night Dean Ambrose was written off TV for a month to film that movie he did. He was off like 5 weeks before returning at Night of Champions in 2014. I'm sorry. It was nice. Also, he got his head stomped through cinder blocks. So Seth Rollins is backstage raving about his victory over Dean Ambrose the night before in the lumberjack match, saying how he's Mr. Money in the Bank. He's going to be going on to becoming the future of the WWE. And of course, at the same time, all of a sudden, Seth Rollins gets dumped with a bucket of ice on his back, and he's of course shivering cold because it is cold. Turns around, and who else is it? It's Dean Ambrose. And he just looks confused at his face, and he just goes, "Why? For charity." He just pushes the bucket right into Rollins' face, and it start brawling backstage. But yeah, it's true. Why? It's for charity, guys. Come on. Again, I got nominated for it, and I had to do it. Or my do I still have it in my drawer? Literally, if I was ever a wrestler, I'd probably wear this. See, human energy. No joke. Cross country camp sophomore year. We're doing Olympics games and whatnot, some relay races and whatnot. The team, and literally the coach gave the boys all these beaters that said human energy on them. So I literally wore that when I did my ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. But yeah, unfortunately, Seth Rollins didn't seem to be nominated for his. Dean Ambrose voluntarily did it for him, pretty much. But of course, that's another one of my favorite Dean Ambrose nominated moments, by number 6. So far on the list, before I check the live chat again, this is gonna be a quick one. Number 10 is All Clear from SmackDown on December 27, 2016. Number 9 is from September 18, 2017 is Nobody Calls Me a Nerd. Number 8 is, deep down she really likes me. For an astounding man, deep down she really likes him, but she can't admit it. Number 7 is Video Recording Trick on Bray Wyatt. Number 6 is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge on Seth Rollins. Why? It's for charity. Let's check the live chat. King Larry says, I really, really, really want to see heel Ambrose. It's time. It's now or never. I do agree. Still felt like SummerSlam was a moment to strike, but it's not they also want to get Roman Reigns involved in it also. As, I see the long-term booking is going to be, Dean Ambrose is not going to be a guy being champion, but he's still going to be feeling he's doing all the dirty work for Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And he's going to get tired of it. He's going to turn on it, and it's going to lead to a triple threat match between all 3 members of the Shield at WrestleMania. Could work, but again, I just hope they don't book the Shield in a way like, Roman Reigns is. As I always say, Roman Reigns is the guy. The way he's written is just WWE just trolling with us. I just don't want the Shield to end up the same way because, I love the Shield, but, it could ruin them, but we'll see what happens. Could work, could not work, but let's see where it goes. As Robbie says, why? It's for charity. Yeah. But yeah, that's 6 to 10 so far, guys. I know this one's kind of a lame one, but just what I felt like doing. So that's number 6. These last 5 are actually pretty good. Number 5, SmackDown Live on November 22nd, 2016. The Fallout show from Survivor Series. Of course, Dean Ambrose kind of turned on Team SmackDown after him and AJ Styles, didn't get along. They're feuding with each other. Send, of course, which what I liked about, like Survivor, it was really, I think No Mercy and Survivor Series, they started building for the TLC pay-per-view as well for SmackDown, because they only had 2 weeks after the Survivor Series pay-per-view until it was TLC, which was kind of stupid. I thought they should have given it a couple more weeks. Of course, they could have done just one pay-per-view in December, but nope. We had to do that. Roadblock, end of the line. I wasted $100 going to that, guys. Anyways, but TLC, that was actually a pretty good pay-per-view that year, I remember. So Ambrose turned on, not completely, did a heel turn, but he turned his back on Team SmackDown as, he was wrong with AJ Styles, and it teased a mini Shield reunion as, Reigns and Rollins were on Team Raw, and, they helped take out AJ Styles with the triple power bomb through the table. Of course, the night afterwards, Shane McMahon, he had been, rung up from that vicious-looking spear from Roman Reigns, which pretty much, kind of gave him a concussion or whatnot. And then he was, riled up, and he was kind of mad at Ambrose for doing that. So he told Ambrose to leave and not come back. And I think also because James Ellsworth was going to be involved in the match for I think that was the night he fought Styles for the WWE for WWE full-time contract, and if he also won, he'd get a WWE title opportunity as well. So they're keeping Ambrose out of the way, whatnot. Well, Ambrose kept returning. The first time he returned, he just walked in with a pizza, and he started talking. Because there was a segment with him and with Shane McMahon was talking to Becky Lynch about, I guess, a match later. I can't remember what it was, but like Dean walks in as he's been talking about the whole thing, and like Shane's like, what are you doing here? You gotta get out of here. He's like, I mean, just want to see if you want any. He's like, you get out of here. You have nothing else to do here. Like, well, okay, I mean, I want to go back. I had some buddies out at the Pizza Place. I'm gonna hang out with you. I'll text you later on. And then Becky said something else. First she said, "I'll see you later." She has to show Dean, and then I think she's expressing Natalia, and I should say, I'll give Natalia a piece of her, so I'm trying to make a pizza joke, and you hear Ambrose down the hall scream out, "That was good!" And Shane's like, "Get out!" And then later on in the night, we have Dean Ambrose come back dressed up as the Mountie. At this time, Shane Manson's like annoyed with Dean. He's like, furious with him, and then Daniel Bryan's trying to calm him down, like, please, just Shane, calm down. You know what? Take the rest of the night off. I got this. Like, you know what? I bet you're fine. I said, and then Dean's like, okay, yeah, feel better. It's like, do you realize you're annoying the guy, but at the same time, he's making it funny. And then Bryan's like, you better get going. And then when Shane leaves, Ambrose says, don't be such a hooser there, Bubby, or something like that. And then, but Bryan said, before you leave, though, I just want to know, why are you dressed as a Mountie? He's like, ain't it obvious? Before I go, I have a message for AJ Styles. He takes his sunglasses off and goes, the Mountie always gets his man. And of course, I think Daniel Bryan kind of broke character and just started cracking up laughing over it because it couldn't help how funny it was. But that's definitely a funny one right there. Is the pizza and the Mountie moments. Of course, I think Dean Ambrose ended up. I think they were in Canada. I think so. I think he wore a Martin Brodeur jersey, or I think it was when he came out or at least some type of like goalie gear when he came out and interfered in the ladder match between Styles and Ellsworth for Ellsworth's contract. So yeah, they couldn't keep Ambrose away, but it worked out. It was funny. So number 5 is the pizza and the Mountie segments from SmackDown on November 22nd, 2016. Number 4 is the famous psychological evaluation segment with Dr. Horbit from January 12th, 2015. Of course, the Authority was not putting up with favorites as well. They weren't happy with Rollins and Ambrose, and of course, so Stephanie felt that that Dean was a risk to the company. So, and to keep a safe work environment, she sent Dean with Dr. Horbit to a psychological evaluation. So he sits down. First, he's like, Dean, you got to do some reflecting. He sits down. Ambrose stares at the clock. And it goes tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And Dr. Horbit's like, I'm just going to show you some pictures. So he shows him. Well, first, before the pictures are even shown, he screams out Thursday because like whenever some big moments happen for WWE, they have to mention it 50 times, such as how many no cards said $9.99, $9.99 on them. $9.99, $9.99. It's actually a little card and a little tip I got for my last wedding gig. So thank you again, cars. Or you guys know we're having an all women's pay-per-view called Evolution. And of course, how many times I mentioned SmackDown Live moving to Thursdays. That's right, it was not live yet, but Thursday. So that had to be inserted in there as well. So then he shows him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 photographs. The first one is a photo of Triple H. Dean Ambrose has to say whatever it comes to his mind. He says irritable bowel syndrome when he sees Triple H. He sees Seth Rollins, he says scumbag. Roman Reigns, it's brother. Kane, it's toothpaste. Probably because Kane's was pale as heck, or because also of his old dentist gimmick he had, which thank God that did not go through continuously, because came a bit more a bad joke. And then we see Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and of course, what else do you say when you see him but go, oh! So then the last photo was of Stephanie McMahon. I'm like, okay, what nasty thing should he possibly call her? And Ambrose once again just goes, oh, pretty much. And then, of course, I forgot what happened, but somehow they reversed the roles. Dean Ambrose became the psychiatrist, and Dr. Horbit was like the patient. He's like crying about stuff going on with him as well. And pretty much it just rolled into it may have been Ambrose trying to trick Dr. Corbett into, just like sign off the paper saying he passed, he's good to go. Because I think also if he didn't pass the evaluation, he would not be allowed to participate in the Royal Rumble, which you could have saved yourself, Dean, because you were dumped out like an idiot, like everybody else by Big Show and Kane that year in a Royal Rumble, because nothing mattered except for Roman Reigns, your brother, pretty much. So yeah. Oh yeah, and then also it ended with Ambrose yelling at the psychiatrist, going, "And yes, it is weird that you sit down to pee." Ambrose. But that was my number 4, the psychological evaluation segment with Dr. Corbett. Let me see here. Let me see here. King Larry says, at least the crowd shouldn't be stupid. They should realize what Vince is trying to do and should boo the Shield, make them all heels again if this thing with Strowman continues. I mean, again, if Kevin Owens would have had Money in the Bank briefcase, then okay, would have made sense. Unfortunately, though, and I'll give away a little spoiler here because I will be uploading my Hell in a Cell predicted match card after this video, but here's what I see happening. I think because Constable Corbin is going to be put in charge next week. Again, I'm not for this match. I am not for it, but it's what I see happening, which is why I put it in my predicted match card. But I personally think the Hell in a Cell match for Raw is going to be Reigns and Corbin. Corbin's going to put himself into the Universal title match at Hell in a Cell, and he's going to make it inside Hell in a Cell so that the rest of the Shield members can't get in there. So it's not a good idea. I know it's not something people want to see. I'm not really interested in it, but it's just what I see happening personally. But just throw that one out there. Since King Larry mentioned it. Nobody wants to boo Braun. That is true. They don't get with the program. It's pathetic, exactly. And he paused for being negative in this fun stream. No worries, man. That was epic. Oh! Let's see here. Larry says, still laugh my ass off when I watch it. Oh, yeah. And yeah, Killer Games is right. Steph is into Dean according to him. Deep down, she really likes me. You know that, right? Ambrose is unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking WWE logically. Corbin obviously, did not get an opportunity to get into any triple threat matches to become number one contender for the Universal title before Roman Reigns just stole it from Bobby Lashley. So it wouldn't surprise me again if he gives himself like a title opportunity at Hell in a Cell as acting Raw GM since Kurt's on vacation. And he would lock himself in Hell in a Cell because he knows that if he didn't get locked in Hell in a Cell, then the Shield would break in, would cost him the match pretty much. That's why I predicted that, but I'm not for it, but it's why I predicted. So please don't give me hell whenever you see that and throw me inside the cell. That's just my prediction for that. But let's continue on here. We got 3 more left. Number 3. It actually was not on an episode of Raw or SmackDown, but I don't know if any of you guys listened to Talk is Jericho. A couple of my favorite episodes of Talk is Jericho, the one with Dean Ambrose and Jeff Hardy. My favorite one, though, is definitely the one with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That's a really fun one. I recommend listening to that one. But in the one with just Ambrose and Jericho, Jericho asks Ambrose, how did you get the name Dean Ambrose? And, Ambrose starts talking about it, but then they kind of go off topic and talk about a couple different things where they finally get back to, oh, by the way, we never answered how you got the name Dean Ambrose. And Ambrose mentions how, he felt weird by the name change. Well, because originally before he got to WWE, he was John Moxley, which is easy because his name was his real first name is John. I think Ambrose's real name is John Good, I think. And Moxley, I forgot what show was that they gave him like the last name of Moxley for his wrestling name there. But of course, he needed to have his own name, so he had just like a name book. He just wrote down much different last names. And at first, he's like, "Can you just not use my names? I don't care, you guys having the rights to it. I just feel weird about using a different name." But they insisted on having a name because, that way they would own it. And then, of course, he mentioned how Dusty Rhodes was the one who suggested the name, but he didn't just say it in his normal voice. He just goes, and Dusty Rhodes was like, Dean Ambrose, Dean, James Dean, Ambrose, Dean Ambrose is strong, baby. And like Ambrose is like mentioning how he just thought it sounded so weird. He's like, Dean? No, like, what am I, a frat boy? I'm not a Dean. Like, he didn't like it. But then again, he mentioned how, you know, Dusty created war games. He's had some home runs, he had some strikeouts. He's like, you know what? It's Dusty Rhodes. Why not if I go with Dusty's idea? So he went with James Dean Ambrose. Just the way he was like, you know, imitating Dusty's voice on that. It just cracked me up the first time I heard that. And Dusty Rhodes was like, Dean Ambrose, Dean, James Dean Ambrose, Dean Ambrose is strong, baby. Probably gonna do a good Dusty Rhodes imitation, but that's basically what it was along to. But yeah, it cracked me up. But that's my number 3 is Dean Ambrose mocking Dusty Rhodes on Talk Is Jericho, telling a story about how he got the ring name Dean Ambrose. Number 2. Now this one is not really funny, but I had to put on this list because, like, you know, this would be a moment that would only work for Dean Ambrose, and you know, I think Chris Jericho, you know, picked the right person to do this with us. He intended on this happening someday with it. But of course, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. The May 9th, 2016 episode of Raw. It was shortly after Ambrose returned after Chris Jericho put him in the hospital by hitting him with a potted plant, which is Mitch the Plant, which Jericho later admitted that he didn't quite like where the whole Mitch the potted plant went, because, you know, it started off as like a comedy segment, but then, you know, he literally put Ambrose in the hospital with a potted plant. They were still trying to make a comedy thing out of it, but it's like, no, it's not what it should be, pretty much. So Dean Ambrose, you know, makes his return the following week, as Chris Jericho is getting ready to have a match against Big Ass. If I shall do his walk once again, because, you know, he's no longer with the company. But once again, this is Big Cass. Man, boy, hope for the best for him. Even though I heard he was trouble backstage with Enzo as well. But anyways, so Jericho's supposed to have a main event match against Big Cass. Before he was doing his entrance, you know, standing there with the live jacket. All of a sudden, the jacket's moving around, and it's obvious that Jericho got beaten down. The lights came on when the jacket was in the ring, and it was Ambrose wearing it. And Ambrose just stared down Jericho, holding the jacket in his hand. He's like, you know, should I do it? Do it. And he starts just ripping up the jacket, destroying it, ripping out all the wiring and everything. And of course, you know, Jericho screaming out, "He owe me $15,000, Ambrose! He owe me $15,000, Ambrose!" Just freaking out on him. That Jericho to Ambrose feud was a lot of fun. I loved it. Of course, you know, telling the story about how it came to be. You know, Jericho knew that someday, that when that jacket was like no good anymore, because, you know, the lights starting to go on it, he knew that he would have somebody just rip it up on live TV. And I know he's got another one, because when Fozzy was in town, I think it was back in April, and my friend and I went to go see him. Jericho had on a brand new light up jacket. No, it was not the cheap one that Dean Ambrose gave him last year, which that's not revenge. Also, when Ambrose gave Jericho that jacket as an apologetic gift for tearing up his jacket, but yeah, because Jericho was mentioning how, you know, he knew something would rip it up, and originally rumors have it he was supposed to work with Roman after WrestleMania, but instead they changed it to Ambrose, which I like, because the rumor originally he was Jericho was supposed to work Ambrose at WrestleMania, and that was gonna be he wasn't supposed to stay for the rest of 2016, but then with how good things were going with him and Styles, they wanted him and Styles to work together a little more, to, you know, help, you know, Styles, you know, get a little more familiar with, you know, how things are done in the WWE. So that's why plans kind of got shifted around, because originally I think it was supposed to be Jericho and Ambrose. Who was Brock supposed to face? I can't remember now. Who's Brock? I can't remember who he said Brock Lesnar was supposed to face. Oh, Bray Wyatt. I remember now. Of course, that probably would have been bad for Bray. And of course, rumors have it apparently AJ Styles is supposed to work with Ryback and get squashed, because as Ryback says, he's supposed to squash that little twerp. AJ Styles lost to Ryback at WrestleMania. That show was dull the way it was. That would have made that show even worse. Of course, Styles still lost to Jericho, but match was still good. They had. But anyways, whenever he found out that he was working with Ambrose, like, you know what, the jacket's starting to go. I think Ambrose to be the right person to, rip up the jacket. And like Ambrose kept saying, he just couldn't stop cracking up at the thought of Jericho screaming out, "You owe me $15,000, Ambrose! You owe me $15,000!" Again, not really funny, but it was meant to be a comedy in some way with Ambrose ripping up the jacket. But that's why it's my number 2 on this list. That's why also I wanted to be like a non-wrestling show, not just just funny wrestling moments, because I wouldn't say it was completely funny, but then again, with Jericho and Ambrose, it was made to be somewhat funny, with Ambrose getting his revenge on Jericho for destroying Mitch. But yeah, that's my number 2. So far on my list, I have number 10 is All Clear, number 9 is Nobody Calls Me a Nerd, number 8 is deep down, she really likes me, right? Number 7 is Video Recording. Number 6 is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Why? It's for charity. Number 5, the Mountie always gets his man. Number 4 is Oh! And yes, it is weird that you sit down to pee. Number 3 is Dusty Rhodes was like, Dean Ambrose. Dean. James Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is strong, baby. And number 2 is when he destroyed Chris Jericho's jacket. So number 1, if you follow me on Twitter, it's pretty obvious because it is my not my profile pic, but my cover photo on Twitter, and it's also the wallpaper for Dean Ambrose's theme music on my phone. In case if you guys are wondering, let me pull up my Twitter really quick here, and you will see at the top of the page what I'm talking about. Of course, I took a lot of time. I'm sure most of you are already guessing this because, it's pretty darn obvious. But right at the top of the page, see that face by Dean? Still one of my favorite moments as a wrestling fan. The September 29th, 2014. So Dean Ambrose had stolen Seth Rollins' briefcase. He poured popcorn in there. He poured a beverage in there. He even stuffed JBL's hat in there as well. He stole the briefcase, went wandering off, and Seth Rollins and security was trying to get it back. So finally, Ambrose was like, you know what? Just take it. I want no problem, Seth. You earned this. You deserve this. Go ahead and take it. Ambrose just wanders out into the crowd, standing there. Rollins is like, there's some kind of trigger something. It's good. Opens it up, and some green goo just starts spraying into his face. And keep in mind how well this was shot. At first, it was just a close-up of Rollins' face going like firing up, and then it cuts to a shot of a close-up of Dean Ambrose's face, and the crowd going like, oh, that, and like, I'm so sorry. I did not know that was going to happen. Thank you, everybody. Good night or whatnot. But just that look on his face of, oh, that just sucks there, man. Literally, it's one of my favorite, crowd reactions. Well, besides the one, whatever the guy's name was from WrestleMania 30, whenever Undertaker lost at WrestleMania 30, but that Dean Ambrose look on his face again, it's my cover photo on Twitter. And also to show proof again, let me find it on my phone here. And we're looking for, or pause it. So I'm gonna cover straight. Listen, look, literally, it's the album cover for the song for Dean Ambrose's theme music on my phone. So that's why it's my number 1. Just that moment in general, I laugh my ass off every time I see it. It's the green goo prank on Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose's face. Again, with how well it was shot, you have a close-up of Rollins' face. He's like, and all of a sudden you see, I didn't know it was going to happen. It's all good, man. I didn't know it was going to happen. But that's my number 1. And that is it for my top 10 Dean Ambrose non-wrestling moments. Number 10 is All Clear. Number 9 is Nobody Calls Me a Nerd. Number 8 is, deep down, she really likes me. Number 7 is video recording. Number 6, why? It's for charity. Number 5 is the Mountie always gets his man. Number 4, Thursday, Triple H, irritable bowel syndrome, Seth Rollins, scumbag, Roman Reigns, brother, Kane, toothpaste, hacksaw, Jim Duggan, oh, Stephanie McMahon, oh, and yes, it is weird that you sit down to pee. Number 2 is Dean Ambrose is strong, baby. Mocking Dusty Rhodes on Talk is Jericho. Number 2 is when he destroyed Chris Jericho's jacket. He owe me $15,000, Ambrose. And number 1 is the green goo prank on Rollins. Ugh. Oh. I think I'm going to make that the thumbnail for this video. Definitely needs to be. But guys, that is it. That is my special live stream. I know this was kind of like a little bit like a week live special stream, but you know, it's had to celebrate Dean Ambrose's return in some ways. That's why I did, like, you know, my favorite non-wrestling Dean Ambrose moments. So what other moments do you enjoy from Dean Ambrose as well? As I said, I feel like we're not going to be seeing as much of that side of Dean Ambrose, you know, in the months to come. Because 1, he's definitely turning heel before WrestleMania. And 2, that new look doesn't look like somebody goofy. It looks like somebody who's, like, you know, serious and dangerous and whatnot, and go crazy and attack you pretty much and whatnot. Let's check the live chat one more time before we sign off. Yeah, exactly. Corbin for a Universal title. I agree. Not ready yet, but again, it's just what I see happening. I'm just thinking with WWE's dull brains and their creative minds, that's what I'm thinking is probably going to happen. Again, I'm not for it, but it's what I see happening. Dean traps the briefcase. Yes, Killer Games. Dean Ambrose. Saying not bad. Sweet. Killer Games, that was cringe. Mike's weird ways equals best for business. Hey, I love that. He saw Fozzy in Austria in late 2012, and they really, really rock hard. He bought a Fozzy shirt as well. Nice. Again, Fozzy was awesome when they came here. Of course, they let off with Judas. They sung Painless. They sung a couple other good ones. And, of course, they did the whole thing with the one more time chants. And Jericho's like, I know you guys can do the one more song chant, so I don't know about this. So he throws, like, something on his head, and he, like, pretends like, ooh, and pulls it off, and they start singing Sandpaper, which that's the first song by Fozzy I ever heard. And also one time, I don't know if you guys heard of Mark Madness, but he does some, you know, he does some talk show in Pittsburgh. He was like literally like sitting like above from Ambrose, and Ambrose had like a wardrobe malfunction. He says, what are you staring at my ass, man? But no, it was a good time. He also called it Fosberg also. And at the end of the night, he goes, you all just made the list. And of course, my friend and I were holding up our lists throughout the whole night. That was a fun concert. But yeah, glad you got to see him in Austria. Larry, you totally forgot about Mitch the Plant. The night Seth Rollins got slimed. Yes, Robbie, forgot. The look is stupid but so funny. Exactly. And you need to do DX next. Actually, I could. Do a DX one for a special top 10 sometime. That's actually a good idea. Killer Games. I do agree. Dean Ambrose does look like Triple H with the killer lunatic Ambrose look. I like how they described that, Larry. But yeah, so guys, thank you for joining me. Again, sorry this is late, but I had a little bit of a crazy end of the week. And I was getting my Hell in a Cell Brit card done as well. Again, I want to upload this right after this video, and then yep, next week the usual schedule as well. Next week's top 10 special stream, I'm not sure what it'll be yet, but it'll definitely be something pretty cool as well. Well, probably something a little bit better. This is a little lame, I thought, but you know, just for the heck of it. But guys, that is my top 10 Dean Ambrose non-wrestling moments. Leave some of your favorite Dean Ambrose non-wrestling moments as well down in the comment section below. Slap like on the video, click that subscribe button for more content on my channel, and follow me on Twitter at TheManAir93. And guys, hope you all have a great weekend. Have a blast. Do whatever you do on the weekends, and I'll see you guys all later. Till then, guys, have a great night, and peace out, everybody.